game that I'm going to show you how to enjoy as well. What I'm going to do, I'll start again. I'm just going to hit a new game. There's a tutorial, which is always nice to see. But first off, I'm going to start a new game to show you some of the basics. Normal map. Do not use buried towns. Just set the name as Matt. Oh wait, already on this, Matt H. You'll notice I'm never very imaginative at naming maps. Right, when you start the game, you start with a few villagers in a random area of the map. Sometimes you might want to move that village, that is quite often the case. You'll want to get more villagers, you want to attract heroes, you want to dig down into the dungeons and start adventuring and finding more and more ways of doing things. And that's all very well and good, but before you start that, you have to start with the basics. The one thing you have noticed is that on my computer it's a little slow. I'm probably a little suspect. As you can see, we've started off a few little villagers. Fortunately, we're quite near some food. It doesn't usually happen that way. Arrow keys to scroll. You can scroll with mouse as well at either side of the screen, but I find that because of the fact that it's windowed and I'm not using it full screen, it is faster to do it that way. Bottom, you have your basic ones: harvesting, chopping, cutting, digging, mining, tilling. Stockpiles. All your different materials will need a different stockpile, otherwise the villagers will just leave them where they fall. So let's start off with raw food one. Draw a little square out. That's your stockpile. So if I now tell them to harvest these pear and apple trees and that sugar cane, you can see they'll stand next to it for a couple of seconds and they've dropped the food. They'll then start carrying that food across to these stockpiles. In my case, I'm going to admit I've made a mistake. That's raw food. Apples and everything else like that, prepared food. So you're going to want to stockpile for those as well. As you can see, instantly click that. There they go. Right, in the game, your goal is to basically build a town up and explore the mines. These buttons go up and down the levels of the map. I usually like to go right to the top just so I can get an overview of where stone and things like that is. For example, there's a huge stockpile there. There's a little bit round here. There's plenty of trees. So this is where I'm going to start making my base. Think things through first. You will want to feed your villagers. Level 1 is the basic ground level. You can't go below that, you go underground. You cannot go down to an underground level until you can see that underground level. So let's start off with something basic. We're going to build a carpenter's bench. Build a carpenter's station. Your villagers are happier when rooms are enclosed, but at this point in time, it's not easy to enclose everything. We're also going to make a field because your villagers will want feeding, and early on, the best way to feed them is bread. So we'll till a little area there. We'll skip the apple tree bush because I don't really want to do that. So there we go. It does take them quite a while to till soil, so don't go and make a huge field. What you'll need as well is you'll need to find some wheat seeds. Watch out for these coniferous plants and enemies because they will harm your villagers. But you need to find some wheat seeds. There's some there, but let's see if we can find any a little bit closer. Here we go, tons right next door, so that's always handy. So if you tell them to harvest these, you can just double click on something. Once you've clicked harvest, it'll just do that square. But I usually prefer destroying a box and trying to include some of it as well. So now they've tilled the field, they'll harvest that, and then we'll go plant it in that field. They're tired, there's not much you can do about that this early on because at the end of the day, you know, there's nothing really for them to sleep in. You need to get things up. We have the carpentry. We're going to cut a few trees down. And we're going to get some logs. Right, as you can see, they've not planted the field. Reason is, you have to go into this menu on the right, planting, plant wheat. So if you tell them to plant wheat there now, they all run around like mad trying to harvest it. This is also your utilities, things like ladders. They are not rotatable at the minute, or at least they weren't last time I checked. This is a newer version of the game than the one I played last time. Unfortunately I lost a lot when the computer was remastering at as I'm just showing you a rather large town. Build a carpenter's bench. That will take a bit of wood. The number, by the way, in the green square as you're going around is what level something is on. So, say if I go up a level, 3, 2, 1, yeah, you get the idea. There, busy planting that wheat, that's fine. That's pretty good, to be fair. You build the carpenter's bench. You want the wood detailer as well, because one or two of the things that we're going to build requires stone. And to get the stone bit, you need that bit. So let's start on the next room, masonry. I usually like to build these two pretty much bang next door to each other, because some of them need bits and pieces other than what they need. Again, this is just a review of the basics, so you'll probably find that what I do does not make sense. Although I've said you've got to feed your villagers, I've shown you how. Although I've shown you how to make stockpiles, I'm not going to go through every button. These buttons, though, are quite handy. They tell you what stock you want your villagers to keep. So I want them to keep a minimum of 10 flour for the minute. Trees and plants, I want them to keep a minimum of 10 wheat in stock. They will automatically gather that if they can see it in the field there now. Minimum of 10 apples and 10 pears. Because if your villagers get hungry, they get ill, they die, you don't want that. The other thing I would suggest, and again this is going more into the gameplay than the review, is this one, military. You want weapons. You want, realistically, each villager to have a stone hammer. It's good. It means if they do run across someone, they won't have to worry about defending themselves. Now we've got the stone place in, just quickly going to knock a stone bench in there. It does require stone, and this is where these come in. We're going to mine. Mining, so click the wrong button there. Mining is for things on the same level that you are currently on. As you can see, that's highlighted. Dig is for going down a level. So that would be mined. This one would be done. Of course, I've gone and not dug any stone until I've done that. So let's put the mason bench in again. It should remember that this time. And sure enough, someone's made a little mason's bench there, but not put it down in the right place. Let's try again. There we go. We've got the blue tip now. That's the guideline. Press escape, save and quit, bury the town. Bury the town is for if you want to start a new town, you want to find a buried town further down, filled with monsters and things like that. Not really found any use for it. We're going to go into another part of this menu, just quickly. Walls. They are a lot happier if they're basically enclosed. So we're going to drag a wall out there, and another wall out here. If you hold the shift key down, again, you can fast build. Remember to leave space for a door. I quite often forget that, and then you get to annoy people. Walls need to be at least too high to enclose a space. And again, you will need a lot of trees. You'll end up building a tree farm, same as the farm there. But, skipping that, I'm going to go in a bit more into detail about the review now, because I like playing games. I'll get lost for ages if I don't. Right, happiness. That is your current villager happiness. If you want that to move up, you will need that to go up. There's a monster there, kill 2 of the villagers. This is why you make human hammers. Human corpses, very important role with human corpses. Right, we're going to go back into here. Decorative graves and tombs. Make some basic graves, because you will want them. They can make them ready, and if you leave, give them a relay, hang around long enough, you get an angry ghost. And that ended the first time that I ever made. Right. Yep, stink cloud. Yep, you get the idea. But I've probably wandered into where there's monsters, or I've annoyed something that I shouldn't have annoyed. Because there's about 3 or 4 human corpses down there now. And unfortunately, if you have a raw material stockpile, then we'll put them in. Right, anyway, moving onwards. That is happiness. every time you pass the happiness needed, you will get a new citizen. But you must have space for that citizen. In the realm of zones, you have a personal room. There you go. Personal room. It must be enclosed. It must have at least a bed and a chair. Well, okay, sorry, it doesn't need a bed and a chair. I'm thinking of a different game there. I'm thinking of Prison Architect. I'll do one on that later. Right, each one should have a personal room, otherwise you won't have new people move in. Obviously, the graves, I'll go into that later. They're not going to bury him in time, so I'll probably end up showing you the daft ghosts as well, which will kill most of your villagers. What I'm going to do now, dig down while I'm talking about the other bits, and let's try and find this dungeon. Right, soldiers. You can turn some of your citizens into soldiers, and it does help to have them around. If one of your citizens is under attack, the soldier will go and help. If they see a monster, they'll go and help. Heroes, again, that's important, because heroes are the ones that should really explore your dungeon for you. Now we duck down and I'll show you what I mean. We're going to go down for. Now we can go down to that level and it shows us what's underneath. That's dirt, that's stone. You'll probably find that that stone means there's a dungeon under there. So let's dig it down again. Probably won't let me dig it. So let's do it from here, because I know you can dig it. There we go. Trading caravan. If you have a zone of a marketplace, you get trading caravans through. They are useful. You will find that you have tons of things that you do not need and you don't want, and you'll end up selling them. With me, it's dirt blocks. You'll end up with a couple of million dirt blocks. As you can see, the wheat's expanding. Every time they dig one up at the minute, there's nothing else to do with it because I have no kitchen, so they are planting it. Build a flour mill and a kitchen and they will do things like that. No sign of any ghosts yet. We'll keep an eye out because they do spring up and they will kill your villagers. And I mean kill. There we go. First monster, spider. Once you're down to the dungeon levels, you will never have to worry about stone again. It's pretty much all the way around here. You also have things like coal, iron, all that is brilliant. Think of it a little bit like Minecraft, but you don't have to do the digging. The idiots over there do it for you. When I call them idiots, they will stand there, let a monster walk up to them and whack them. That's the reason for wanting them all to have some sort of weapon. I've still not quite worked out what killed these ones off, so I'm not going to go into that. But you will find out that if one of them dies, you do get angry ghosts. You don't always get them from corpses, it is random. These ones, flash block near the cursor. You saw when I went near the trees earlier, how they all disappear, they all go down to flat. That does make it useful for building. Putting the grid on will sometimes make it useful. It shows you exactly how you can plot it out. Flatten blocks does the exact same as near the cursor, but does it for every block inside. 3D mouse turns the 3D mouse on and off. Doesn't really make much difference in settings. Increase and decrease speed. You will find that you increase speed a lot. Basically, it can be a bit of a pain sometimes when you're building a huge building and you don't want to wait. So you wipe the speed up. They're not doing anything at the minute. I've apparently not got enough trees, or someone's using them. There we go. Someone's using the wood cutter already. You will probably want a couple of these wood cutting benches. They are the most basic thing. And if you're making wooden walls, you will need them. If you're making stone walls, you will need the masonry's bench. Like I say, once you get down to dungeon level, get a couple of heroes in first, I'd recommend, because as you can see, they're killing them. I've got loads of human corpses there. You know, she's severely wounded, she's found another monster, she goes to attack it anyway. Your villagers are not smart. They will not know to run away when they get injured. Not unless they get critically, and the other thing's dead. In fact, there's a seam of coal, so you can see that I'm not lying. You do find other things down here, and they will come in useful. Towns is a very useful game. It's one of these ones that you can play a little bit here and there. You can get mods, you can play multiplayer. It is brilliant for a time killer. I hope you've enjoyed this little look into it, and I hope you'll consider it as a game, support the developer. And I know I've mixed up my games again, I've been playing a lot lately, I've been off ill, you can probably tell. So, enjoy that. I will be doing another review soon of yet another game.